Good morning, afternoon, evening or night, whenever you're watching this, welcome. It's a nice cloudy day, a week after the last time I visited the site I'm going to, a week and a day after floodwaters receded, but only a few days after they rose again. The cliff face will have collapsed a bit more and there'll be fresh old things to find. As I was putting on my Wellington boots of the car, the two people who were walking over there were also getting ready, in waders by the looks of it, and carrying a bucket. I think I recognised James, who I sort of met last week and had a conversation with from across the river. Looks like we're going to have company today. So the video guests today are James and his daughter Ellie, and James with his seafood bottomed bucket has found this indeterminate disc of copper, perhaps a coin or a tag, not what he's looking for, so he's kindly given it to me, and I think it might be worth a try to clean it up and see what it might be. And my first find of the day is intriguing, perhaps one of those things that's prettier as a broken fragment than the original thing might have been. An iridescent piece with embossed leaves, slight curve to it, might have been part of a plate or a bowl. Bit of copper wire. I am a bit unfocused in what I take, basically all copper and brass, and things I either like or can imagine future me wanting for a craft project. James here has a few specific things he's looking for now: blue and white pottery and aqua-coloured glass. He's collecting pieces to trim, carefully arrange into tiles, and lay down as a bathroom floor in his house, which is an impressively ambitious craft project. So today, anything I find that I think he can use, I'll give to him. Lead-shielded copper wire, I'll take for the copper, and for removing the lead from the river system. Not sure. Bit of a toy plane, perhaps. It looks a bit like a propeller, missing most of its blades. Little brass wing nut. A bit more lead. Metal does seem to congregate on this beach, not far from where it's been washed away from the cliff face. There it is. I found this last visit a week ago. I'd gathered a few pieces of copper together and put them in a prominent place to collect on my way back, which I then didn't do as I was carrying far too much after the cliff face had been especially bountiful. The water's been over it all again since then, washed it down the beach a little, but most of the copper's still here. I'll have a look around, hopefully find as many other bits as I found last time. Looks like some blue and white. Yep, that might be appealing to James. And a little bit of pipe bowl, quite a small one, so maybe quite old. Unlike this one, which is probably not more than 100 years old, and possibly as young as 60 or so. But I'll take it. Oh. And that is a bullet casing, small caliber rifle, very corroded. Slowly, carefully, we're making our way to the cliff face, and it's more unstable than it was last time. The cracks are widening, and that tree up ahead looks like it won't be able to hold on much longer. The weather might be settling down, but gravity won't quit. I'm glad that we're looking for fundamentally different things. Means I can pick up this that they've passed over. Little lead figurine of who? Is it Hardy of Laurel and Hardy? Or perhaps Roscoe Arbuckle? Or Winston Churchill? I'm sure somebody's been shouting at me to notice this, which I will of course take. I'll grab this too, lump of verdigris covered brass, quite an industrial size of a rivet, which seems a little out of place in a municipal household rubbish dump. Last time I spotted one of these here, I mistook it for nothing very much and didn't pick it up, and Nicola White recognised it for what it was, a pocket watch, and I think this might be another one. A little hard to tell for sure, but quite likely. First marble of the day.
Buy a packet of them in the shop store. Hold that bucket on and see if it can reach. There you go. Present.
James and Ellie got to the first little pocket of lead things first, but they're really kind and not really after the little lead toy soldiers, or the toy cartwheel, train wheel, pewter wheel, top of an old toothpaste tube, legs of a lead something, horse or a cow, and a really old style of a car. That's wonderful.
Fantastic. I found a screw.
I'm in another patch of metal things, mostly iron, but also brass bracket of some kind. Up here, some copper wire. Down here, a lead figure. And for once it's not a Caucasian soldier, it's a Native American wearing quite the war bonnet, though I suspect the toy makers might have been under the impression that each feather represented a kill in battle. Hook. Not quite a pirate hook kind of hook, but maybe a coat hook. Little glass finial maybe. Glass ball on the end of a rusty iron screw anyway. Little bit of lead. Iron. Lead. Lead. So much lead, so little battery life. I'm going to try to get across this treacherous looking stretch of clay, on one side water deeper than my welly, and at the border a wet clay that I might just sink into. Yep, almost immediately my right foot sank 8 inches and the mud sucks. Might be easier going in this crumbling clay. A little better, but still not great. I hope it's worth coming over. Yay, made it. And here's one of at least 10, probably more like 25 trees that came down when the river carved the cliff out from under them. 3 more rows have been planted in what seems like a futile attempt to stabilise things. If these established trees couldn't stop the erosion, the saplings that have gone in stand no chance. So the silver lining is that I can, theoretically, film here for many years to come, unless the river changes course again. Now let's see. Sauce bottle. No branding, and not interesting. I don't know why I picked it up. A huge jar, which I will at least take a look at even if I don't take it, and I automatically find myself going to the water's edge because that's where I usually find the best stuff. Quite a nice blue, remains of the contents inside, and I'm guessing it's a facial moisturiser or scented cosmetic cream. If you recognise it, then please do say. Now this jar is huge. Is it for pickled eggs or other ideas, anyone? Slight aqua blue tinting. James is looking for aqua blue glass bottles and things, so I'll give him the option. Milk glass is something I seem drawn to, but rust stains are a pain to get out, so I might not take it. That looks kinda aqua coloured. Yes, I think that's something he might like. And that. Not sure if the blue here is as vibrant as it looks, or if the contents are complementing the colour. And a glass cone, possibly a vase. It's got a lot of iridescence on it, I hope the camera can see. The next bit of a dump might be inaccessible. Going to give it a try though. That looks like a glass battery. It is, and more importantly, it looks like a nice example in intact condition. I'm happy with that. Now, I'm not as excited as usual because I can already see it's a screw top, but yeah, a nice green poison bottle, unequivocal in its warning about the nature of its contents. I'll take it as surely as if it said not to be taken. I've just spotted this, which, although no details are currently shining through, looks very much like a coin, which is something I very rarely find, and even a copper one, probably an old penny, makes me very happy. James does want the big aqua blue jar, says he's going to use it as a vase and that he'll send me a photo of it which I can include here. First attempt to traverse the next section. Ill-advised perhaps, we'll see. One false step and I'll be in the river. I'm a reasonable swimmer, but I'm not dressed for it. No, I think realistically I can't get down there safely, so it's back the way I've come, and maybe try wading instead. Okay, here we go. The clay is sticky, the water is softening it up to the point where it's swallowing wellies. I probably am going to get a bit wet, and sorry to say, the camera work is going to be appalling. I'm concentrating on my footing too much to know what's tantalizingly poking out of the wall beside me. This is a time when I really should have been wearing waders. I do have them too, in the car. Inevitable, really. I'll just check out this strangely silvered jar, not sure why it looks like that, and then I'm going to have to turn you off because I need both hands to reacquaint a foot with boot. Along the precarious way, I did manage to grab this, a simple corroded enamelled tin cup, but it looks to be regimental, has an insignia and enough information to research, could potentially be a First or Second World War relic, which would make this a pretty good find. I think I see a mudlarking bucket list item. I found a doll-sized one, and I found one with a hole where there shouldn't be a hole. Will this one be intact? Ooh, looking good so far. Hygienic feeder. This was a design that helped improve chances for bottle-fed babies and brought down the infant mortality rates considerably from a Victorian-era high of about 8 out of 10 children dying before their second birthdays. Oh, it's got a few little chips out of one of the ends. That's a shame. Still, aside from an intact one that someone has very kindly sent to me as a gift, this is the best condition one that I'm likely to see for the foreseeable future. I'm happy with this find anyway. I see something up there worth investigating. Just a little bottleneck with cork still in it. Not especially special, but it does have iridescence. Actually, it seems to have all over iridescence, which makes this one I'll take. Sloane's liniment. Nah. The middle section of the cliff has had hundreds of cubic meters of material cut out by floodwaters, 3 rows of trees on top gone, and looking from this angle gives an impression of how much more is going to fall before long. And over here, a large spur of loose material is going to make it tricky to get to the next part of the cliff face. Still, there's some hunting to be done here first. So many bottles, and I'm holding out for special ones. Little vulcanite bottle stopper, the operative word being little. Little doll's tea set jug, in pretty good condition. Oh, wow, that's a surprise. A very creepy, nightmarish kind of surprise. I'm not at all surprised it got thrown away. I like it. I think I will be able to get around that spur. I'll probably need 2 hands to balance. But first, crested ware. Picture frame by the looks of it. That, I'm sorry to say, intact as it is really not to my taste. A bit of a pipe stem and heel, which weighs nothing much, so in the bag it goes. Off the camera goes, and around this spur I'll go. This slope of things is all fresh fallen, loose debris, and next time I come most of this will probably be gone, but for now it's an opportunity to see the dump in one of its rarer, bleaker states, and even though I can't help but imagine what's sitting within this loose hillside, there's still going to be plenty to find on this very temporary surface. This clay layer has my foot again. No poison warning, but a nice cobalt blue which will, I hope, look great cleaned up with morning light streaming through it. Now what else is there? This looks like it has something beneath the muck. A coat of arms, looks like a royal commemoration mug, broken of course. Just an old hip flask style bottle, probably whiskey. Now then, I think I might head up this rich seam of bottles and avoid having to deal with the patch of thorns, clay and deep water. I really must apologise for the camera work today. I'm sorry. The terrain today is a bit inhospitable for filming and carrying a bag, balancing and picking up things. That, there, is something I'll take. I'm not exactly sure what it is, other than it being a big lump of verdigris-covered brass. I think there are two main possibilities: a float from an old-style toilet system, or an agitator for washing clothes. I am going to take this, but the ground I'm standing on is far from solid, so I'll put the bag down and move up a bit before I slide down. Nice condition, not hugely old, from the top layers of a dump, and not something that really appeals to me. If I could get up there, that would be the highest on the cliff face I've ever been able to search, but safety is a major concern here. Sadly, the colour in this appears to be from the contents rather than the glass. I saw something glint. An escutcheon? No. I think it's related to an escutcheon. Some keyholes used to have a guard to keep casual water from getting in, although that would have been a big keyhole if that's what it is. Maybe instead it's part of a chandelier. It's very rare that I find something appealing in the actual cliff face that I think I can get out with no chance of a landslide because of it. But this wonderful looking lid. Crème Amina. Roger and Gallet of Paris. This might be one of the star finds of today so far. It actually looks like there's some normal gradient beyond this bundle of thorn vines. That's something to look forward to. This level of thorn is actually quite a usual obstacle at this site. What's unusual is finding it down here, just a loose bush of thorns standing right on top of what looks to be a nice green poison bottle. I will get it. Intact and not to be taken. Very nice. Does have some of the contents still, which makes the prospect of cleaning it a bit interesting, but I am taking it. Now, how do I get down from here safely? I'm down, and for the time being reasonably safe, and it's less stressful than a lot of the slippery slopes and sinking patches of sticky clay and overhanging dangerous-looking cliffs. I might be the first to reach this end of a cliff since the floods, but even if I'm not, I'm sure there's going to be good things to find. What else that's appealing to me is hiding amongst what so many of you are shouting at me to pick up? Tiny bottle, and it's quite a cute one. I'll take it. Partial piece of a brass coat hook, I think. Nope, thought that was something else. Nothing else is springing out at me, yet. That'll do for holding all the little things, which I'm sure I'm going to find. And there's always things to find at the water's edge. like. A vintage glass battery, second one of today. Slight chip to one corner. No visible cracks. That's some grass or something clinging to it. Wow, okay. Great style little cream jug. Sad about the missing handle. Nice colour lung tonic bottle, in good condition. But I do have quite a few of these, so I'll offer it to James. I see what could be a marble. Looks like it. A lot of mud clinging to it. So let's give it a rinse. That's nice. Cobalt blue and white. Happy with that. That looks so tantalizing. Could it possibly be my first fully intact cod bottle? Oh, this cruel reality. It does not surprise me. It taunts me. And what are the chances? Is now my stock response to finding a dice. A thing I only seem to find when I've been concentrating on a find that turns out to be a disappointment. As if Lady Luck is leaving her calling card after spiriting away all the luck in the muck. There's a few things here. Most obvious is the cobalt blue little pot. Vicks VapoRub, the likely original inhabitant. Little twist of wire that looks a bit like a candy bracelet. And now I've lost all the other things I was going to look at. Stand up, try and catch them unawares out of a corner of my eye. Ah, there's one. Big lead pipe. And there's the other. A slight deviation from the usual bottle stopper. It's domed, and not vulcanite rubber or wood. It's plastic. I think that says radium. Now there's a sorry bit of history. Because early experiments had shown that radium killed cancer cells, it was initially thought to be a health benefit, and became something that was widely touted as a cure-all. It was sold in cosmetics and medicinal tinctures, and the only thing that really saved a great many people from terrible radiation poisoning was that radium was in such high demand that prices skyrocketed, and soon most of the products thankfully didn't contain any radium. Two things now to inspect. The first being what looks like, possibly, a very stained saintly figure. And then this, which I haven't had a good look at yet, just enough to get excited about it because I think I know what it might be. It's currently a big amorphous lump of verdigris covered brass with a mulch of newspaper and iron oxide, but I think inside it might be a train conductor's oversized fob watch. I could of course be, and probably am, completely mistaken. Suggestions for just how wrong I might be in the comments, please. In the meantime, I'm very much looking forward to opening this up and finding a baby dragon inside. James has just found 2 tiles up the slope. Yes, these are from the same batch. And this one, slight break along wood edge and a lot of rusty staining, which might come off. Seems like they might clean up, so I'm going to give these to James for his bathroom floor project. That's a lot of bones. A little roundup of some of the things that James and Ellie have just found. This, I think, was a uranium glass inkwell. Would have been quite the prize if it was intact. This appears to be a cosmetic cream jar in a pewter sleeve, not something I've seen before. This is something I found, a California fig syrup bottle with a veritable oil slick of iridescence. James found this strip of copper, and down at the water's edge I found this pipe bowl with a rather spiky pattern. Not quite like any I already have, so a welcome addition to my small collection. I'm right at the end of the cliff face now. The finds here are coming either from a different part of the dump or other origins entirely, and that looks intriguing. I mean, I know it's probably something plumbing related, probably bodily function related, maybe a urinal. It's quite stylish. Does anyone recognise it? And am I making a huge mistake by not taking it? I mean, there are collectors for such things, and I might be passing upon treasure. Oh, no. I usually pan this way. Let's go the other. Yeah, there's probably a good reason I focused the pan shot over the scenery rather than the devastation. Oh well. This is a nice example of a bottle I already have, much better condition and with the stopper and everything. So yes, I think I shall take it. Do shout out if you see that I'm missing something. I must admit that keeping my balance, pointing the camera and holding things isn't the best situation for also spotting things. Ha, okay, another one of those sleeves for cosmetic cream jars. I don't remember seeing them before, but now I'll probably see them everywhere. Just illustrating how fast and full the river is, full of finds, but too full of currents too to try and find the finds today. Glass rod. With a tail or feather pattern paddle, so perfume dabber or stirring stick. I'm happy with that, and if I missed this on the first few times searching this ground, what else might I have missed? Well, that's quite nice too. A cream pot or smallish master ink bottle. They do tend to look quite alike when covered in mud. Perhaps I should start scraping the surface a bit when I come here, rather than just eyes only. Interesting old tool, like a brass penknife. Let's see what's under here. Huh, I hate to admit disappointment, but I was hoping for lost treasures. On an ordinary day I'd be excited to see this, but I've already found an almost intact one. Oh well. We're starting to make our way back now, and I'm sure it won't be the last find, but the little button flaking apart now, but I think it was mother of pearl. And there's probably more to find if we went back a different way to the one we came, but safety-wise, now that we're all a bit tired, the way we came seems like the sensible option. Pottery family scene, which actually looks more or less intact.
Get your wellies, Tom.
Ha, yes, twice this outing I've lost a welly to the clay. Got it back though, both times. The last find for me is a tiny little lead figurine of a saluting soldier, sadly missing his feet, and some copper wire. Now we head to the beach. The river is higher than when I came last week. That suggests that maybe the more productive parts of the beach might be underwater too. So, yeah, There's still a stream cutting right across the shortest way, avoiding the curve, and this might one day result in an oxbow lake forming. It's hard to tell if this is the way things are going, or a last vestige of a change in direction which resulted in the current curve. What's certain at this point, though, is that a sizable portion of the beach is currently underwater. It's a good thing there were so many little treasures to find at the cliff face, because we might not find much here. And honestly, I don't mind much, because I enjoy wandering about, in water, on sand, seeing the patterns of nature and having a grand old time outdoors. There are at least a few patches which have a few things to find, like this, which is remarkably intact, a delicate glass perfume dabber. I'm a little impressed that it's managed to survive being tumbled in a rocky river. This guy hasn't been so lucky. Hard to tell, he might have lost his head before making it into the dump, even before falling into the river. I think I can perhaps give him some replacement limbs. This here is one of the trees that the floodwaters took, probably planted at least 20 years ago when the river first started cutting into the dump site, maybe earlier. The local council is no match for nature. Not that they're not trying, just that almost anything they could conceivably do wouldn't be enough to stop the changes that are underway. Down here, we've got a clump of newspapers. Unfortunately, the dates are usually near the edges, and the edges rarely survive. But maybe we'll get lucky today. Above Washington War Department buying bombers, which could be from any time in the last 77 years, a report of a destroyer-class ship being attacked by a submarine, one torpedo fired at it, depth charges deployed in retaliation, so most likely World War II. That's nice. I think I've given up on finding things for the moment, and I'm just wandering, trying to figure out what the water's doing and how it's going to change this beach, which has given me such a lot over the last year and a bit, for an artist friend. Wondering if a change of currents now means that it's worth checking out some of the beaches much further downstream. I'd certainly like to explore this river a bit with a kayak, but I'm not sure that buying a kayak is really a priority when I have a camera that's jerky during panning shots. James has kindly given me this wonderful little glass flower. Not sure if he or Ellie found it, but I'm happy to have it. I don't mind it missing half of one of its petals. Oh, this is quite cute. I won't try to guess which breed it is because I don't know, and you might. Little insulator. Actually, half of a little electric insulator. Haven't quite figured out my plans for the whole ones I've collected yet, so I'll leave it. Let's see. White ceramic figurine of a woman holding... too small to be her own head, slightly too irregular to be a football, perhaps a cabbage. I like the possibilities with this. It could be a head with a little extra Fimo, but missing a lot, I'll think about it. I think we're coming towards the end of the video now. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm afraid I can't do a proper roundup yet as I'm still in lockdown away from all the finds from this day. I might do a separate roundup video for the finds from this outing and several others when I can go home, which isn't really looking likely anytime soon. I will probably be able to film some new mudlarking outings before that happens. I had a great fun day with James and Ellie, both of whom are lovely people, and James has recently started a YouTube channel of his own. There'll be a link in the description, so please do head over and give his videos a watch. If you have liked this video, then please do give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, hit the bell icon to get notifications, comment, share if you know other people who you think might enjoy it, and if you'd like to, you can buy me a hypothetical coffee through my Ko-fi account. A special thanks for all the kind support I've been given recently. Times have been tough and I've been helped. I hope that you're all keeping safe and healthy and helping other people if you can. Thank you all very much for watching, and for now, goodbye.